mind is racing, wanna scream, somebody help me. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. These type of people sit right under our noses. We don't find out till we're on IG scrolling. We post a few memes, but then it keeps on happening. Something's gotta change, we gotta start talking and telling the truth without the fear of judgment. Gotta come together and really start loving and heal these people, cause they slowly dying. Help them believe that their life is worth living. God sees you, and God hears you.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Wipe your filthy mouth.
Fall from grace.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, it was so funny.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the
dang.
Cocktail Social.
Hi.
I am your host, Blue Water. And as always, y'all just cut in on us while we cut out.
Where the hell I was
First of
there
all,
for a second.
I felt like a pawn what you just did to me.
Oh, God.
Well,
there's something to say out of context.
Did I?
Right.
Yes.
I was,
What happened to eye contact?
That's something to say out of context.
I thought you said something about eye contact. I was like, yeah.
Alrighty then.
oh yeah,
Eye contact,
you
it
supposed
takes you
to
to a whole other level. Eye
You're
contact.
supposed to hold eye contact when someone's choking
You know.
you. And I mean really choking you. When they down in there and they,
What's that, to keep them from choking you or to make them choke you more?
No,
Show
just
that
while
you
it's
in charge,
happening.
too.
you're supposed
You
to
have to
domineering
maintain
shit.
eye contact.
yeah, you gotta show that level of control
That
and
dominance.
submission.
Yes.
You know, look
My favorite part is when
Just let a motherfucker choke you till you blue in the face.
I like when the eyes cross myself.
You can't fight over who won't be.
Yeah. Damn it, right there. It's with I like that
You
shit.
got that ADHD eye. That bitch just wander off on his own and shit.
Oh,
like
that's
a
how
fuck.
mine does when I'm sleepy. It'd be like,
I know one time I was getting my dick sucked. That shit was so fucking good. And then like I don't know, she grabbed my ass and pulled it all the way in.
Oh, she was a strong bitch.
Yeah, something like that. And I was like, yeah, that shit was great.
Well,
I miss you guys
right.
so much.
I can never get enough. So what I will say is the first cocktail question. This was supposed to be, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna wait for
Roberto.
Yeah, because Cable, he sent us this question. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to a question that I feel like I want to ask, and that is: should legislation be changed to make employers justify firing individuals?
Yes, I agree.
I think
So
they
the
should.
question is: should legislation, the laws, be changed to make employers justify firing individuals? Because you know the state of Maryland is an at-will state, so they can basically, if you look at you the next day and say, "Well, we don't want you,"
Right.
and it's justifiable, and that makes you eligible for unemployment benefits, but they're not, in my opinion, penalized. So what I'm saying is that I think that employees should be penalized for just firing individuals. Like they should actually provide a justification.
But they do have to add to provide justification when you go to unemployment.
Right, but that's like after the fact. But then you can't really.
You can't fight your job. You can't fight for your job that way.
Right. And I'm thinking that will probably curtail
And then it's hard. It's like because you need that money to pay bills. It's almost like a relationship. Do you really want to stay somewhere where you're not?
Where you're not wanted. That's
where
good.
You're not wanted.
Yeah.
So it's so many catch-22s there, but I do believe that there should be justification. I think justification should go around for anything. I don't think that anybody should be let go of any situation, be it relationship, be it job, without a reason. Because, you know, some motherfuckers are like, oh, just because. Like, nah, that's not an answer. Like, you
I
know.
disagree. In certain instances, you reserve the right. Like,
Well, then that's what the job
my
can say.
my
then.
reasons are my own.
Then that's why a job can fire you then, because my reasons are my own. I think that, like,
that's
if you could
different.
say that you some fuck shit, I don't fucking like you no more. I don't want to fuck with you no more. Just say that shit.
Like, it's not working out, point blank, period.
That's a reason. That's a justification.
But it's not working out. Why? Because I mean,
Why is it not working
anybody
out?
could say
Because you are no
it's not
longer
working out.
meeting the needs that I need. You're not cutting it.
You
It's
talking
still
about
vague,
relationship wise,
though.
when you
Like,
talking about job
either
wise?
way, like this
I think
works
that's
on both
no,
ends. Like you're not
because
fucking
my thing is,
getting it
my
no
thing
matter
is,
what.
I feel like when you break up with somebody, well, not always, but you know.
But even with the job, this is a breakup.
It is.
And I understand
It is
that,
completely
but
a
you
breakup.
still want to know. Most of the time, if you break up, especially if it come out of the blue, you're gonna want to know. Well, damn. Well, where this come from? Or what did I do? Or because that person may want to correct their behavior if it was something that they actually did, so that they won't do it again in the next relationship. So if you don't say and you just say, oh well, it just ain't gonna work out. Like how is anybody gonna learn from that?
And that's part of the reason why I'm presented this question, because I feel like when employers let people go, sometimes it's biased. Sometimes they have some underlying issues and it's personal and not professional. Now, say for instance, if I'm doing my job,
Most times it's probably personal.
I think that's not a sufficient enough reason to let a person
Threatened
go.
by you, and
So
I feel like
let's-
you could do my job better than me.
So what about turning it on its head? So in that respect, then, if I'm leaving my job, do I owe you an explanation why I'm leaving?
But I think that if you resign and
Your resignation letter, you generally do
you
say a
genuinely
reason.
do say in a resignation letter, after these years of services, X, Y, and Z. But
I've decided at this time to move on. But you
Right.
don't ever say, I'm leaving because you motherfuckers don't pay me enough money.
Well,
Exit interview.
You can say
can.
that.
I'm about to say, that's what I said in my exit interview. I was like, straight point. Like, oh, so what can we change? You don't pay enough. I'm doing 5 jobs, 1 person, and you're not paying enough. Then when I left, they split my job into 3 different positions. Because then they realized they were trying to hire someone else. This other person wasn't a dumbass and they wasn't going to do all that shit. So they split it up. So then they had that exit interview, they had my resignation letter, and then they had several different things to really realize that, you know what, we were fucking him over.
and and it all boils down to that. Like, how do we kind of support the employee? Those individuals that are working day in, day out, and they're not getting the support, the appreciation that they deserve. And then after 10 years of service, just because I don't like the way that you wear your hair,
Right.
I'll wake up and say, I'm gonna let this person go.
If
Or if I have a disagreement. So say if you decide that you want to speak up about something and you don't like what's going on in the company, and you just offer your critique, you offer some feedback, and they say, well, you know what, you don't have the vision that we have. And it
Right.
may not be that you don't have the vision. Your vision may actually enhance what they want or what they're trying to obtain, or achieve, but they don't necessarily see it, and they decide to let you go. Then put you in a situation where you're struggling, because now, if you don't have any money saved up, then you actually have to look at applying for unemployment, which
If
then,
they give it to
if
you,
they
they
give it
going
to you,
fucking
Yeah, right.
try
if they-
everything
and so
in
I'm
their
like,
power not to.
how do we make this fair for the working class individual in terms of a situation? And we always
I don't
talk.
think they really want to make it fair.
Well, I don't either. But I think
I
that in
mean-
a situation like, especially in the
I
politics,
think it's more of a how do we fight to make it fair?
right?
Because it's always going to be a continued fight. No matter what we've done, employee equalization has always been an issue. And we've always been fighting, specifically from the 20th century on, to make sure that there are certain protections.
Right.
But how do we ensure that those protections really do exist? And you have to fight, you have to be vocal, and it's scary as shit, because the reality is that when you leave a job, you don't have money. There's no steady income. Even if you have a savings, even if you have triple degrees, there's no guarantee that your ass is going to get another job.
Absolutely.
True story.
Absolutely.
And that's just all it is to it.
And that increases anxiety and
Yes.
depression.
Yes,
And
all of
gray
the
hair.
things.
And then
wrinkles.
Did she say gray?
Great
And wrinkles.
And wrinkles.
And then you go out and you do things
Now you
that
ugly.
put you at
You
risk.
can't go back to stripping.
Right, because you too
'Cause
old.
you too old.
Well, ain't nothing going to stop me from that.
Shit, them bad
say
knees will
something.
stop your
That
ass from
part.
that shit.
That part.
But all you gotta do is scoot across the
Nope,
stage.
I'm not doing this.
Like a dog with itch.
Right.
That dog got worms.
So that's what I mean. That question right there was one that kind of resonated because I just feel like a lot of times employers take advantage of that at
And
will.
employees
And
just
when
shouldn't just
now in
quit.
terms of when you try to challenge it, you don't have a leg to stand on with the at will
True.
ruling.
True.
So meaning if
Because
you
that
would-
wipes out everything.
that they have the, and so to me that's like unfair because you could literally have a discrimination case, but because it's an at will state, they can justify like, well, they
Yeah,
don't have
you
to
gotta
keep
fight.
it.
You gotta prove it was discrimination and not just at will.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that was my question.
I think you guys should,
Save all communications. I repeat to everyone, save all communications. I don't care what it is, how
story.
big, how little. You need to save all communications.
Yes.
Yeah, and you
And they
guys
hate to have to be
talk
that
about it
way.
in the
CYA,
comments. Like,
cover your ass.
yeah, definitely.
So out there in cyber world, if you're at home and you're watching, do you believe that legislation should be changed to change the ruling of the state being an at will state to it being the employers have to justify why they're releasing you or terminating you? I believe they should justify it. I believe that you should have the right to say, I challenge that termination, and if I was wrongfully terminated, you owe me the monies for
Right,
however
whatever.
amount of time.
Maybe that would cause them to change it to not be an at will state. That if you let somebody go, like without reason, without proper cause, like they didn't violate company policy or procedure, they weren't violent, any of those things, and you just up and let them go.
You just don't think
then
you
have
fit
to.
the culture of our business.
That's some bullshit. Anyway,
That's not sufficient because
Right.
when you say you don't
What
fit
the
the
fuck?
culture,
What is the culture?
What do you mean by that?
Shuck and
What-
jive,
No,
smile
culture
and
changed when you,
kowtow.
from the time you had me up until the
that is
present day.
considered an at-will reason.
It is.
If they feel that you are no longer fitting the company's culture, what they want, the standard, or that you are a troublemaker, then they let you go.
But not nobody in the
Go ahead now.
the agency I work for. Try it if you want to.
But
Try it
literally,
if you want to.
but and especially now, and that is something that
That's
is
crazy.
very, but in this day and age, the culture of a business is very important. And the vibe as such is very important, that they want
No
everyone.
damn vibe.
No, it's always.
As long as I'm not.
No, this is
violating
always
company
basically
policy.
no. It has. See, that would be a justification. Like I fucked this up.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
But the at will shit is that weird, that gray area stuff where we don't feel like you fit.
yeah, it's a
Okay,
blanket.
so but
no,
at what
what
point
I'm
does
saying,
that become discrimination? Because it's like, okay, I fit when you hired me.
right? All us is
Oh,
white
no.
and you is black.
You were on a
you
trial.
don't fit.
We thought that baby, and you know.
A 10-year trial, a 15-year trial.
And throughout evolution, you did not evolve with us, so you no longer fit the culture.
That's
of this
Well, you
company.
know what? Fuck you.
and
That's
and
what
the
you
culture.
do.
No, but what I'm saying
That's-
is,
that's what you-
I
that's what you
hear
tell
what
them.
you're saying, but I'm saying if we're gonna.
I'm in
I
no
get it, but
way
no.
for this.
Right.
But
This
these
is
are
the-
things that I've heard. This is real shit that is happening. People are being let go because
They don't fit the
culture of the company or what they envision for their company. They think that you don't fit it. You may be doing your job perfectly,
Yeah.
but because they're threatened by you or you're not.
But why can't they express that?
No, but even
Because-
if they don't, I
Because
just feel
see,
like
then when you express certain things like that, then that can lead you into a discrimination suit. But if the culture, if that's written into, and you always got to read these handbooks. People get these employee handbooks and don't read it.
Listen
And
to that. No, that was a
Yes.
Read your handbooks, read the policies, read procedures.
In my employee handbook, one of the things is talking about the culture of the company and what they're looking for. And this is something that is written into a lot, especially tech companies, especially new startup companies, and even a lot of the new state office rules are changing where they no longer want they want a friendly face. They want
Oh, so if you ugly, you just, I mean, if you
So
just
if you
got a
got
mean mug,
RBF.
you just can't stand up there
No,
and chat.
If you suffer from
it's the
RBF.
thing-
Right. So that's
it's the thing
discrimination.
of-
So you're saying because my face is naturally mud
No, but
like.
look at this. When you have things
I can't
like
work for your
this,
friendly
this
company.
is undercover discrimination.
Yes, it
Right.
is.
And so if you are older
Microaggression.
and you do not,
Fit the
learn
culture.
the tech as quickly as someone who is younger,
Child,
and
I
you
got
have a
one of
younger
them on my
manager,
job.
you no longer fit that culture, so we can move.
No, I get all that, but what I'm saying is, I'm suggesting a possible remedy for that.
You know, they want
is-
remedy.
is
They
if-
want to keep discriminating.
No, hear me out. If you decide that that's how you want to roll with the at will, then when you at will let me go, then you have to provide me with the severance package. You have to, not just unemployment.
McDonald's ain't gonna give you a severance package.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a suggestion that if y'all still want to roll, you said legislation. Then maybe this can be the legislation that if you let somebody go at will, and it doesn't fall into them violating any policy or procedure, anything in your SOP, then you have to provide them with a severance
Then
package.
they just gonna start setting your ass up to violate every policy they got.
But see, the thing is that long
At
as
least it starts
I
a
just-
discussion.
When it boiled down
I
to it,
think
work
it-
for your damn self.
I think it should be
Hell with people.
about accountability. Because on the flip side, if you as an employee was to do something that was against policies and procedures, they would have documentation to justify. Well, the
Right.
reason why we did X, Y, and Z. So when something happens, you should have the right to say, well, look,
And it
I
got to be in a
challenged
certain
it.
time frame because you can't drag up some shit that happened in 2005 that you didn't bring up at the time and then try to fire you on it in 2012
12, right?
for some shit that happened 5 years ago. Like if
Yeah,
you don't hit that
statute of
shit within a grace
limitations.
period, then that shit is null and void.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because we live in a day where people are struggling to keep jobs,
Baby, what
and
you
people are
talking
struggling to
about?
find jobs.
Yeah.
And when you have an employer that is just, well, I don't like the way you wear your hair, or I don't like the way you look.
40
or I don't-
years on the job don't exist anymore.
Exactly. So you have to, for me as an employee, I think that it's only fair that there should be some they have to have some justification. They should be held to some standard.
Yeah, it
and
should.
some accountability. And if they don't fall, like say for instance, they do decide to let you go because you don't fit the culture, and that isn't sufficient enough evidence, I think they should compensate you because they're putting you in a place where you're struggling.
Yeah.
And you don't know what that struggle may turn
But see,
into.
that's when you just go back to the job and just rob all of them CEOs.
See,
But
that
that's
right
not-
there, that's what it, no, that's what happens.
That's what happened.
Give me your goddamn wallet.
Yeah, but shit like that is why you get people.
Don't
who
do that at home, guys.
Right,
Don't
yeah.
do
And
that
they
at home.
go, but
They go postal.
I can't say that I run like a huge business, but even with my band, people look at it when we let someone go as, oh my God, you just let him go, like, oh my. There have been chances given, there have been conversations, there have been communications.
That's a
That,
Yeah,
and
there
we
is a
follow
difference.
up with all of that because my thing is I don't want to ever let somebody go without them having a full chance of redemption.
Right.
But if you come in and all you have is ego and I know what I'm doing, but then keep fucking up,
Oh yeah, you gotta go.
then
That's the difference.
and so that's somebody who could not, even if they were pulled up and said, look, okay, maybe we didn't give you a proper introduction to what we needed, so here it is. Let's give you another chance.
Right.
Then after that, hey, here's
That's
some
a
things
verbal.
that we're still having some troubles with. You may have met this, but if we're going to be successful with you moving forward and with me paying you, then I need you to. But then by this
revisit.
fourth and fifth time, when you keep fucking up, but you think
Oh, see, ain't no
because
fifth time.
oh no, we've given fifth and sixth chances with quite a few people.
Right.
And then when you get let go, you like, what? How can this be? And then you want to run around telling everybody, like, that motherfucker's crazy. No, it's like we gave you every opportunity to not be a fuck up. And I think that should be every job is where they give you the chances
Right.
to understand, like, look, here's what we're trying to do. This is what we're about now. We have evolved from where we were before, and this is what
the
we want to
direction
do
we're going.
now. Here's what it is. Then when you don't meet that, well, look, you did this, but we need this.
Right.
And then, so by the time if someone is let go, then it's understood between the both of them that this just is no longer working.
Because even like with a license, like your driver's license, if you get a DUI, they'll send you through a class.
They sure will.
And they'll give you an opportunity to improve your driving
They
style.
sure will.
And even if you come back again, they'll still allow you to drive.
Even if you're a speeder, you're
they'll give you a
driving.
breathalyzer, and they'll say,
You got to breathe in the car so you can go. Because they understand that you got to go to work.
We got to do these things. But so I feel like if you can put those types of parameters in place for employers, then I think you'll curtail a lot of this unemployment and everything. Because I think a lot of times people are unemployed because they're in fucked up situations. And they're there because they need to work.
It's horrible. You can't get a job because you ain't been working, but you can't work because you ain't been working.
Right.
So, and it's like, it's a vicious cycle. And anyone who has literally been out of work, not them people like, I ain't never did. I know them people who have literally been out of work, where you are just on Indeed, you are busting the sidewalk, you handing in everything, and you just sitting there
Can't get high
waiting.
that lemonade stand.
Right. And you just sitting there waiting, and you are presenting your best self. For those people who have the letters after their name, for the people who have, the experience behind them, or the people who are just starting out, it is a really vicious employment situation right now. And what blows me when we have our president who talk about, employment is great right now, it's like, nah, motherfuckers can't live. You got a job, but you can't live, and people are trying to find it.
It's called the working poor.
Child, the working, it got to be another word worse than poor.
Underpool.
Right.
Underpool. You absolutely right. And so I brought this up. I don't know who we have to talk to appeal to some change about that, but I think that's
the wizard.
Law. The wizard?
We need to go see the wizard.
Off to see the wizard.
Oh, shit.
He said the wizard.
Because it's a wonderful thing.
What was that in that Bible?
That is funny.
Okay. We're going to throw that. Oh, on another note, I have to talk to you about Shoot Your Shot.
Oh, yes, do tell.
So I was coming up with this concept of having an opportunity for single individuals, male, female, whoever, to come on the show and shoot their. No, they wouldn't shoot their shot. They would present their case, and then individuals would shoot their shot.
Hey, I'm
to them.
Chantel. I'm a Virgo. I enjoy hiking and swimming and blowing bubbles while jumping double dutch.
And our duty would be to ask them specific questions to kind of get an idea what their personality like. So then I would ask you, do you blow bubbles when you swallow?
Absolutely. I gurgle as well. Ting.
Did you hear the sound effect?
Yes!
Both of their faces over
Right
there.
off the fucking cliff.
So, I'm thinking that we should do it once a month with individuals that come in and they could.
So how do we find out?
So we're gonna
who
pull
is
that
gonna-
picture up on Facebook or something like
On
this?
the Kocktail social,
They'll be
and they'll be
So we
here.
starting like a dating service over
Yes.
there, motherfucker?
Oh, and
Yes.
they can
Oh,
give
this
their
shit gonna be-
their
man.
socials.
And they can say,
And then they can
like,
come back
I'm
and tell
looking
us
for a
the
relationship,
disastrous
or I'm just
stories
looking
and
for
shit
some
like the
fucking-
love
I'm looking for a
connection.
nut.
Right.
Yeah, they can come back.
And tell us what the motherfucker you set them up with. Let me tell you about this
That
straight
bitch gave me scurvy.
Set them up.
Yeah,
we
we'll
give them the
shoot the shot.
opportunity
Well,
to.
No, we should make this
I don't
a full
wanna be
service
responsible for
bond.
none of that shit.
Oh no. I just want them to be able to individuals to shoot
What
their
was that
shot.
show? When they would go out on that date, it wasn't Love Connection, the
Next.
other one.
That one.
Which one with the bubble?
Was it
And they
Blind
would put-
Date?
Blind Date. That's
Oh, I thought you were talking about next.
See now that could get you. That could get people outside waiting for us.
Yeah, I don't-
in the
yeah, I don't want no
show
parts
with
of that.
bats and brass
it.
knuckles.
You
like-
signed up for it.
Right.
You are no longer meeting
out
the
there
culture
with
of our country. And this is what it means that you've been let go.
But I think that one, if people get to see people.
Ooh, I know somebody.
I know a couple of people that would fit good for the Shoot Your Shot segment, where they could come on and we could they'll be our guest co-hosts. They'll shoot us,
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Miss Sophia.
You turned Daffy Duck.
I think I don't know. Was a thought.
I
Something
don't know.
flashed across his brain. So happy. Oh, he is right tickled.
Oh, China, just go in.
So, I think they could co-host.
Yeah, come in and.
They could come in and co-host with us. Then you
Y'all gonna have to tell us at the commercial break.
At the commercial break.
the socialites
Oh, no, he
are in
snorted.
mischief. The socialites. See, it only took them a few minutes.
I know who he's talking about.
No. So at this point, it is.
Yeah, and they can be like, you can follow me on Insta,
Like a mascot.
on the Insta snap.
Well, this is the Cocktail Social.
Snapchat date. Yeah.
And this is Be Exposed Radio. I'm your host, Blue Waters. These are my socialites. Join us after this
Help
commercial
us,
break.
God.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange radio show.
Any trouble, because I get into any trouble, but I had a problem that this then became a discussion at that workplace environment. Now, the discussion was I should have been more sensitive. In what way was my first response? And I guess when I had to meet with that said person who had the issue with the person who was said leader of that organization, I said, well, to that person, how would I have known that? Well, you should have asked.
I think so. You want my opinion?
It was a circle, and I was willing to go on that merry-go-round.
You are better than most.
Yeah.
I think that's normal when you're in a group and there's norming. Most of the time when you're in new work environments or you're in a space where you're getting to know people, it's normal now to ask for people's preferred pronouns. You wouldn't have known that.
Normal to who? What is normal?
Well, you work in social. You work in social innovation and
my pronouns, so it's not normal to me.
You don't, but I think because I feel like the person was probably offended because they felt like you were not honoring whoever they are, right? But you wouldn't have known that.
Still to this moment, I don't know what their pronouns are. So in that
they didn't offer
circle, we still don't know. So I'll go as far as saying I perceived it to be a she.
Perceive them to be a she.
Them.
Yeah.
Her, him, they,
them. It seems like they, them would be the easiest one on this one.
Join us every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. for the Artist Exchange radio show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'ma show these niggas what to do at one of your beats, man. I am Gas, by the way. Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. Can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them. Birth certificate, baby daddy, she couldn't list them. But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but nigga she could've died with. Destroyed the whole world, I found out she was a side chick. The nigga loved his wife, and it got hard to hide it. So when Gwen confronted him, he ain't even denied it. Her fault, depends on who you asking. She tried to be a stripper, but the tip out was taxing. Buying all the purses, trying to keep up with the fashion. And her mama hated babysitting with a passion. She deserved better circumstances. A black queen, she should've been blessed with certain chances. Look down upon, getting all of hurting glances. Making men change up all the twerking stances. She never cried about the pain, only gritted her teeth. But most soldiers never get a flower or a wreath. She like G.I. Jane in the war with no relief. Don't recognize why killers was going through her beef. She said more prayers than the nun did. After seeing so much much struggles with only one kid. The clinic said baby number 2 couldn't be undid.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I mean, you know what I mean? Because if you just leave it at that, then of course they should be able to play sports, but not for the team that they transition to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that shit ain't fair. You
Hold
want
on. Welcome back to the Cocktail Social. we was like,
angry as hell.
yeah, like this shit.
Hold on, no.
Hell no.
Yeah,
And we in full effect. We are in full effect now. I'm going to go to this one.
Okay,
I'm going to let you lead that one.
With this one?
I'll let you lead that one, but this is one now. Okay. When is it justifiable for a man to hit a woman or a woman to hit a man?
At the same time as okay for a police to hit a woman or a man.
Wait,
because
what?
police hit women all the damn time.
What?
When you feel threatened.
Come again.
What happened?
Shit.
So say,
You
repeat.
said what?
Okay, police can hit people whether they male or female, regardless of what the gender of the cop is. So when they feel threatened, that's when they hit them. So okay, when you feel threatened, if you can slap fire out of motherfucker. No, I don't think that. I really don't.
I'm about to say.
No, hell no. I mean, I feel like if everybody keep their hands to themselves, you won't have no issues. Because the thing is, if you open the door to hit somebody, then you open the door to
get
be
hit
hit.
back.
So if you slap a guy and he haul off and slap you back, sometimes I don't think that he's always in the wrong, because you got these females that'll chase a dude down. You can say, well, he can just walk away. Okay, he walking away and she beating him all in the back of his damn head and all this other stuff. Eventually, you gonna snap.
Now, but that, okay, how can I put this? Because I'm where you are. That's how my mother raised me. Keep your goddamn hands to yourself. Because if you hit a man, you need to be prepared for him to hit
your ass back.
Not saying that it's right.
Right.
But you understand it. Like, it could just be reflex. You know what I mean? Not saying that it's right.
Yeah, because reflex is
keep your goddamn, like you said, keep your hands to yourself. Now,
Reflex
with
is some
men,
shit to deal
of course,
with.
I was raised that a man should never hit a woman. And my brother was raised, you should never hit a girl. But if that little girl comes swinging on you, son, you gonna have to tag that ass just so she learn. But at the same, I mean, to me, it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
So, like you said, just everybody keep your goddamn hands to yourself.
But then my thing is, what about these females that really got some hands on them? You know what I'm saying? Because I know a couple females that can handle handle some dudes. But that's what I'm saying, though. Dudes. I ain't talking about, a weak dude. I'm talking about a real dude.
It's chicks that be in relationship talking about, yeah, we was fighting, and they really mean that they was exchanging blows. He wasn't beating on her, but they exchanging blows.
Exactly.
It's still not right.
Yeah,
It's still not right, because there are men who are not aggressive, who are raised not to put their hands on women, and then they are in relationships with overly aggressive women who think it's okay to put their hands on them.
I mean, this is interesting because Johnny Depp he was getting his ass beat.
By whom?
His, I believe it was his wife. They just recently are getting divorced, and like she cut the tip of his finger off.
Wait a minute,
he had black eyes and everything, but because he was raised that you don't.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Like, he was getting his ass beat. They have pictures.
That doesn't make it right.
He all beat the fuck up.
Well, that's why I say after,
it's never justified.
There's men out here being abused. So I feel like now if that man decide he gonna stand up for himself the same way you tell women, oh, you need to stand up for yourself, and he slapped the shit out of her, then what? Now you sitting back talking about, I mean, hell, I don't know. I just say keep your damn hands to yourself.
I mean, the end all is, in a world where we could keep our hands to ourselves, that would be wonderful. But
because some people do make you want to slap the shit out of them.
You know what I mean? Like,
it make you want to put your thumbs and just.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Come out of there. Come out of there.
And you sit there.
Felt that thing.
Go over there. Look, go over there. Get over there. So
I don't think it's acceptable ever. I don't think it's ever.
Yeah, I think just keep your damn.
But I've witnessed situations where I was looking at a girl just really going on a guy. Hitting them, slapping them.
And nobody intervened.
And he's like, go ahead, leave me alone. Go ahead, leave me alone. Just go ahead. And he's pushing
And
her
nobody
away.
intervened.
And she
Ain't nobody
slapped
gonna
him.
intervene.
And then the follow-up is,
most of the time people don't intervene.
After she did that, when he's pushing her and everything, she calls the police, and the police come and
lock
you
him
know
up.
whose side they get on?
Hers.
Get on her side.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
I don't like it. It's not right. It's not right.
Because I feel like, I put it, well, if you hit, I feel like if you get hit, you should be able to, you should be able to hit back with the same force that you was hit with.
I don't know about all that because you might not compete.
So it's like when you was kids and you fighting and shit. Somebody hit you soft, you hit them back soft. They hit you harder, you hit them harder. You go back and forth like that.
But my heart and your heart may not be the same
well,
heart.
you know.
You might look.
And then I feel bad for men who are in abusive
herself.
relationships because it's like, what you gonna do? Call the police and risk the fact that they come and then you get shot the fuck up because this bitch can't keep her hands to herself.
Or they come and they laugh. They come and they say you couldn't handle it. Or they come and they demean you because you've been taught that you are supposed to be the pacifist in that situation. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know.
And then there's people who abuse the legal system. Like, you could be that guy that's like, you want to beat on me, okay. You had that. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. But she called the police and say, oh, he hit me. And now they looking for you. You got a warrant. Mm-hmm. It's bad. It's just, it's never acceptable.
Now, in the vein of what we were talking about, the employers being justified for firing individuals, should individuals females and males that make false reports,
I think they need to get their
should the laws be changed to say, well, you know what, since you put this false allegation about this individual, you need to serve this amount of time?
I think it'll
they
keep
need to do something.
It'll keep their asses from making all these false reports.
Because I mean, in terms of tax,
I don't think this has anything to do with just black people. I think this has to do with any fucking body.
Yeah.
I don't know
like if you are putting a false report on somebody, let's say that someone says that you
raping
them,
kids or something,
and this shit is completely not true. So now you get off, but now you still have this
stigma
cloud of maybe he did, you know. And then this person who got off, who is still protected, and you never have to talk about it again, and they can just go and live their life.
And you know what? And I hate to even bring it up with everything that's been going on.
It makes sense.
But
it goes right into it.
It's a lot of heat on Gail right now. Mm-hmm. Gail King for what she, with the interview that she did with Lisa Leslie. Mm-hmm. And apparently some type of way she asked about, Kobe's past with the, the rape case and all of that other stuff.
Right.
Me personally, I think it's a little bit too soon. But not only that, if the court system didn't convict him, same thing with Michael Jackson, it came out that he didn't do it, but then you still bring up the negative, event of, oh, well, he was accused of. So you'll never live it down. You could be a completely innocent person, and you'll never live it down because you always got the stigma on your name to say that, oh, well, he was accused of, and then, of course, people, they gonna come to their own conclusions whether or not they think he did it or not. So now it's like, it's no longer if it's true, it's what do you think happened. It's not about what was proven, it's or what you know. It's now it's public opinion,
right?
And I don't think that's right. And especially with that situation, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a super, I'm not a fan,
right?
But at the same damn time, I won't want to see him go out like that regardless of whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like let that man rush without you, dragging his name through the mud because he can't defend himself right now. And at this point, whether he did it or didn't do it, he's passed away. And let that shit lay where it is.
But here's my thing, and I think that this was I think that the best thing that was asked was you had opportunity to ask him this question to him.
Why didn't you?
Why didn't you?
Right.
Absolutely.
You could have. This is. I mean, the tragedy of his death and how quick and sudden it was incredible. But this happened in 2003. It's now 2020.
17 years later.
You had
all that
17
damn
years
time
to ask this question, and not once did you. You could have asked him. The court documents are there. We know why he was acquitted. You know, he apologized for her treatment that happened after they had consensual sex, and there was a civil case, and then it was settled outside. But and I'm not even going to get into the matters of the case.
But a lot
I don't
of
want to
times,
make it sound like I'm victim blaming.
no, because a lot of times people settle out of court just to say, you know what, let's just get this out. I don't even feel like going through all of that.
But
just pay them off.
But regardless, it's just interesting to me that this question was never asked by her to him, and she says that she knew him.
And she said that she respected him, and that he always was nice to him. She was to her and everything, and I just think it was just a little bit messy.
Well, she did comment. She did make a comment about it, and said that the editing
after the effect,
but
the question should never been asked personally.
But see, they're trying to say that it was the interview was, I guess, prior to. I don't know. I don't know. They trying to say that like it was some old.
It wasn't old. You can't lie your way out of it. This was a new, recent interview.
Either way, I don't think she should have said shit about it.
But you don't ask about your homeboy Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, she should have left that alone
right there, because y'all was real cool and close, and y'all knew all the women that he raped. But you don't ask him questions about that.
And with that being said,
Right.
We're gonna go to a commercial break. And we're going to drink some cocktails.
Yeah.
And we'll join us after this commercial break.
That is funny.
Well,
I ain't going to try,
Check out this flashback from It Is What It Is radio show.
Paul he was chilling, he was doing his thing. Y'all, you feel me? Love y'all family, you know what I'm saying? And like, for her to be taken away from you, snatched away from you, just like that. You feel me? It's like damn. Another good one gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you taking the good? You know what I'm saying?
You always end up asking like, why?
And like again, it's a lesson that it's a test of faith. You feel me? Gonna take you through these tests. You feel me? You're gonna go through these little phases in life, yo. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you just gotta recognize that one, it's the adversary trying to knock you off your pivot, and then it's God trying to teach you something. You feel me? Right. Anything that you go through, you gonna get through. It's called going through. You feel me? That's why it's called going through. You going through something. Right. You feel me? Because after you go through it, you get through it. You look back and like, damn, I got that. You feel what I'm saying?
For this and more, be sure to tune into BeExposedRadio.com every Friday from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. to listen to more of It Is What It Is radio show.
Far into this unknown to find who we really are. Crash into something new and take a break from our broken heart. Talk with the hip, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, try not to say too much. Let your love come down. If you wanna rule, it's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move. Don't wait on nobody else. And if it feels like a melody, sing a song, be my radio. And if you follow me there, I'll follow you back. Let the night unfold. I can tell that she can't get enough. Show enough, she couldn't get the feels up from me. Oh no, she couldn't get the feels up from me. Touching hands till we dance in the dark. Show enough, she couldn't get the feels up from me. We do whatever you like. Get the feels up from me. Oh no, she couldn't get the feels up from me. So let's slide, you and me alone, to find who we really are.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Cocktail Social. Welcome, welcome, welcome. we had a nice conversation about men and females and domestic violence, and it's a delay.
That's why.
Okay, so
That's you. For you, Pumpkin. That's why.
Smitty said, "Wait for it."
No, I wasn't looking at that. I was the little, trying to do the little live thing. While
He said, "Wait."
So
I ain't even talking about that.
Smitty said, "Wait."
Smitty said, "Wait." The next question, the next cocktail question, was one that was submitted by Cable, who is not here because I think he's stuck doing something that is a little bit questionable. He said it was work related. I want to know what type of job he's performing, but that's just.
I mean, work is work. I put in work.
So, he asked the question in our messenger, in our private messenger. He asked, why are people straying away from religious organizations like church?
Because a lot of them full of shit.
Say again.
A lot of them full of shit.
Say it with your chest.
They full of shit.
There you go.
That's it.
Not all of them, but
and that's that question. What's the next one?
I mean,
that's it.
Right.
Next. I don't know what to say.
It's true. Look, the thing about it is, you got people that's been going to church all their life, and they still in the same situation they was in when they first started going, and nothing has improved, and this, that, and the other. So they get to a point where they like, look, I'm coming to church, I'm paying my tithes like I'm supposed to. And then they arguing in the church, and you say you church and you Christian or you whatever, but then, you tear each other down, or you still doing sneaky conniving stuff, or you talking about such and such behind their back, or you sleeping around in the church, all types of stuff. Preachers sleeping with the congregation and all of that stuff. And people, I think they just get to the point where they done. And that too.
I'm gonna say,
and they don't tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth in the church. And
I think
be trying
even
to,
beyond that shit, I think people are confused about what church is. Church is not your faith. Church is not what you build your belief on.
Right.
Church is literally just an opportunity to get together with like-minded people to worship. That's it.
And it don't have to be in a church
but that's
building.
not what and what a pastor is supposed to do is supposed to facilitate how you learn, how you worship, and then how you personally figure out what God is to you. Church is not anything beyond that. The black church, historically, if we're going down that road, took on a different role because we did not have anywhere as a social place other than church. So if we're talking about the social piece of the black church, that was how we didn't have anywhere else. That was where we went to school. Colleges were started from the church, all of that shit. But I refuse to build my faith on a church. Period.
Right. I believe that people go to church for the wrong reasons. And I think what happens is that people go to church like they go to people, and they ask God to fix their human issues. And that's not how you access that spiritual realm. I think that people, and so what they do is when they go to church and they've been there and their issue isn't
it's not spiritually.
It's not addressed.
So they not fixed. Like you kept taking this car to the shop and it's not fixed. Well, you've been going to the wrong shop, baby. That God ain't got nothing to do with this.
Right. And I think that when they go there, they get caught up in the people. And the thing is that there's this perception that the people that go to church are perfect, that they actually have answers, that their lives are fine, that they don't go through stuff, and that's not true. And even if you look at a pastor or the first lady or the deaconess, the evangelist, they're humans. They're going to make mistakes. So when you go to church and you're caught up in the people and not the purpose of why you're there, which is to build a commune between that spiritual realm and the physical realm. That's just a connection.
But see, a lot of people make the preacher they looking at preacher like he God.
I feel like church should be the most rawest form of humanity.
Absolutely. But when you go into a place of worship and you look at the people, especially if you're new to it and you're looking for something. Yes, you will look to the people
who have been there a while to kind of trying to like find
Your how things are.
where you fit in all of it. But then when I'll put it to you this way, for me, because I was in a church, I was a member of a church for 20 years, and I left. I left in 2019, and my issue was that all that I had been learning, I did not see it practiced, if that makes sense.
So
I'm not talking about people who are in church, they come to church every Sunday, but they still got issues, or they come to church every Sunday and they still struggling with, I don't know, their sexuality, because everybody's walk is not the same. Just because you get it and you are changed by the word doesn't mean that I'm going to get it in the same timing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you telling me to have faith in God, that if I pay my tithes, then the saying that I was taught was, you pay your tithes and watch your tithes pay your bills, right? But at the same time, I see you, when I say you, I mean the leadership, stressing about how you going to pay bills, how we going to get people in the seats so they can pay their tithes, so we can pay our bills. Like, where's the faith that you're telling me that I need to have to walk this walk in my life personally, when you as the leader of this entire congregation aren't doing the same thing and having that level of faith for your congregation? That, along with, unfortunately, I swallowed the pill that let me see beyond the matrix. When you see that other stuff and you start to lose respect for your leadership, people will leave church, and people won't like right now I'm a little, I want to go back to church, but I'm a little hesitant to go back. And the reason why is because from what I've seen, from what I've heard, from what I've witnessed, it's all the same. So, and I have developed a closer, more intimate relationship with God since I left the church than when I was in church.
But I think my issue is with that is that and I'm not going to church actively right now, so it is what it is. I think that is the point. That relationship with God, that closeness with God, is what you're supposed to take to church. You're not supposed to get that from church. And I think that's where people are fucking up. You're not supposed to get that in church.
But if you don't know it for
that's
yourself,
not what you're supposed to get.
But if your family is not...
let me finish.
Go ahead.
That's not what you're supposed to get from church. You learn about it. And then you have to learn God on your own. We cannot keep sitting here waiting for somebody to teach us about God. That's not how this thing works. It's about a personal relationship. Then we can sit, we can discuss, and then from our discussions, we can start forming opinions, we can start doing this, we can learn certain things from each other. But if you're going to church Sunday after Sunday, looking for God, looking for this relationship, constantly pulling and needing and needing and needing and never actively looking and doing the work on your own, then that ain't church. You're just going to be disappointed forever.
But how do you develop a relationship if you've not been introduced?
That's all church is, though.
So
that's the introduction.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but I mean, and then also, I mean, I think this is also, especially in this country, to say that nobody knows who God is,
that's untrue,
is a huge untruth. Either you want to know or you don't want to know.
I think God is within you,
but not even going over what, who, and how, and all of that. I'm not even going there. I'm talking about just dealing with the church. If we're constantly going to church looking for this experience, looking for this thing that's just not there, it's not there. You know, if you're not going to do the work outside of it to read up, to pray on, to figure out, to fuck up, because the thing is that it's shit ain't going. I was reading Harry Potter, and
preach Harry Potter.
No, real shit. I was reading Harry Potter. And Dumbledore was putting Harry on all these fucking missions. And it was like, Dumbledore, why the fuck won't you just tell Harry what the damn thing is? But if he had told him from jump, he would have fucked up and he would have never got it.
Right.
He had to go on the adventure. And he had to go on the mission to understand what everything meant. And I think that's a lot of what the walk is. And I think church is just the way to go and, be one with a bunch of people who are on the same journey and just say, hey, look, that was cool. And then go back off in the world and fuck up and win and fuck up and win and fuck up and win. I think that we are putting too much on these preachers. I don't. He's just some niggas that know the word a little bit better than me, and let's figure out what they can say. But I ain't looking for them to save me. They can't.
No, they can't save
I'm not looking for I'm not looking for the church to save me. I'm not looking for the church to have that experience. I can have that experience in my bedroom. I can have it while I'm taking a shit, while I'm washing the dishes.
Two or more is gathered.
Exactly.
It don't have to
Hell, I've
be
been
a
drunk
builder.
with y'all. We done got into some stuff, and I done felt God come right through that shit.
Yes.
And the thing is that it has nothing to do. That right there was church.
The church and God are separate, and I think people get it messed up.
I do agree. And with that being said, we're going to cut to commercial break. This is
Commercial.
the Cocktail Social, Be Exposed Radio. Get your cocktail. Join us after this message.
This show is deep. Huh?
Y'all need a urinal.
But it's a
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up against, go hard. Don't matter. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen this less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head. I could wait for your response, but they love to hear me talk, so I just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them haters so appalled. I'ma make it out the darkness, and my word is my bond. Delivering these bars while I'm gripping on my balls. Jealous niggas hate to see you succeed, so fuck them all. I'm the master of my destiny, nigga, you not in charge. You either on your grind or in the way, so get lost. Be a man of everything you say you stand for. Lead your people by example, being hands-on. If you're back against the wall, then get your mash on. Fix your vision on the future like it's fast forward. The world is yours.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome to the Cocktail Social. This is our first social event of the year.
Yeah.
And that drink that I just had that you made me swallow is finally taken.
The hurricane is hit.
Well, I'll be glad when my motherfucking shit kick in.
It kicked all the way in. And I'm glad it's at this point because the show, we're at the bottom of the hour, so it's about to be over with. So it has up a little bit. But
always at the bottom.
I turned it over to Miss Kern over here because Miss K is going to give us the next cocktail question. Because at this point,
he
not
jerked,
in the
y'all.
right place.
Are you snookered?
A little bit. A little bit.
All right, so next cocktail question is transgendered individuals who play sports, should they be able to play the sport of, so should a male to female transgender person be able to play female sports?
No.
And vice versa?
No.
Okay, why not?
Because we're stopping some big, muscular, almost went politically incorrect.
Yes.
We're stopping this man that say he's 6'5" and 300 some pounds and that decides that he wants to be a woman and play a sport. he still has the strength of a man.
She
still has the strength of a man. So I don't think it's fair to put her into sports with natural born women. Now, I don't know if they should have a transgender league, or I just think at this point it'll open up too many cans. I'm just saying. Y'all asked the damn question now. You over there giggling and shit, but I'm just saying it ain't fair for this big ass man that used to be, it ain't fair, goddammit. It ain't fucking fair. Their asses is out there with man strength playing soccer and with regular females that don't have that same leg strength that you had as a man. That you talking about, no, hell no, they shouldn't be able to do it. I don't give a shit what y'all say.
What kind of legs they got?
Man legs. You snap them big ass, strong ass legs, you know what I'm saying? Then you talking about, I'm playing soccer with the girls. Hell no. Because it ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? Look, y'all just look. I know I may not be politically correct, but all I'm saying is,
but we're not supposed to
it's not fair.
This is an online happy hour.
Yeah, well, it ain't fair.
It's your truth. It's your opinion. The way you deliver it may offend whoever.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if you get a transgender weightlifter.
Then you have that.
Exactly, but she still got her man strength.
So she shouldn't be competing against.
Hell no, not with no regular females. That shit ain't fair. You got advantage.
But she competes with everybody. She competes with every female weightlifter.
Let's say Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay, so now we're gonna have to just come up with non-gender sports where everybody play with everybody, and then what? So that we got the NFL, and now you got somebody that decided that they wanted to transition from a female into a male, and then they play professional football. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a disadvantage.
I think it depends
or
on
an advantage, depending on how you look at it.
The weight.
So what sport?
What? No, seriously, it's just like in boxing, you wouldn't have a featherweight fighting a heavyweight,
right?
You know, you wouldn't have a featherweight fighting.
So you saying okay? So if it's a transgender,
I think weight class, because there are some very petite.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think there are
True.
petite men
who
may transition to female. I don't feel like they shouldn't be able to play soccer on a female soccer team, depending upon.
Okay, but then who? But then at what point do you draw the line? Because you can't say, well, you nice and petite, so you look like you could blend in with the girls. But then you got this big 6'5" dude with the muscles that just decided he wanted to be a female, and now you still trying to put him in the same category. No, that shit ain't gonna work like that. Your ass got He-Man strength. Stay your ass over there with the damn dudes, or just get a whole goddamn. Transgender team. What the fuck? Get a,
What would the
So you're saying a transgender league?
The Decepticons.
Oh.
The Transformers. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, I ain't running for office, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you got the shit on tape, you got it on tape. I'm just saying.
Wait, did she say
the Transformers versus the Decepticons? Hell yeah, shit. I think that should be good shit.
The Autobots versus...
Yeah, the Autobots, fuck it.
Really?
Shit, because look, hell yeah.
So there should be.
They got their own damn, it's like bringing up the, okay, you get somebody that transition from, male or female.
Okay.
Okay, and then you using a female bathroom.
Okay.
Some of them females might not be comfortable with you being in there with them. And then some females might not care. But then you got the ones that transition and then they get confused that after they transition say, I should have never did this. And then they want to switch back. And then you...
But I'm saying...
you ain't seen that shit? They got a whole little series on people who transitioned and regretted it and then transitioned back.
All right, but let's stick
How
to
do
the
you
people
transition back?
But first of all, pick a fucking team. I feel like you shouldn't be back and forth. Either you're gonna be a boy or a fucking girl. Which one you gonna be? Because at this point, come on now. Because at this point, it's like you confusing every goddamn body. You know what I'm saying? Like one day you Jim, next day you Becky, then you decide you want to switch back to John. Like I mean, it's too damn much for us to try to keep up with. And then you want to hold people accountable for calling you the wrong shit. No,
it's okay.
I disagree.
It's okay.
I don't think they should be. I said they should have a transgender team for the transgender to be on. Who's next?
I'm almost afraid to ask the next
Go ahead.
Well,
hell
no,
no.
I'm gonna say this. I think that whatever you present as, I think that that's what you should kind of measure from. Now, do I believe
What do
that
you
it's-
mean by present as?
If
For
you-
the
if-
folks who don't know.
So,
Oh.
meaning that if you're female to male, then when you transition from female to male, you are now a male.
Okay.
And when you're a male to female, you are now a female.
Okay, but do that female got to
Now-
get prostate exams after it gets switched over from a female to a male?
You all in that person.
I'm just
though.
saying. I mean, it just brings up questions. I mean, because at what constitutes a female or a male
Well, I mean,
at that point?
I think that if you limit it to the biology of an individual, you can go that way. But then you can. I don't think that that's the only way that you can identify because you're more than your vagina.
Yes.
So
I
if you
agree.
so if someone just looked at you and be like, you're a female because you got a vagina and breast, there are women that
But
don't
that's
have breasts.
the criteria.
But they're still a female.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
but
you
they
know-
still got a vagina though.
And there are men who have breasts who aren't female.
Yeah. But I know some grown men right now got some titties. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers. If you just showed a film from the neck down to the chest, you think, and they just jiggle a little bit, you get aroused. You think they're real
Because
titties.
you know there are women who are flat chested who have a show enough stashy.
Beard.
Yes,
And
that's chest hair.
mustache. And
So
Hey,
I think
it happens.
the only part that I'm going to join in on this conversation because I've decided to mute myself for this one.
Okay.
Oh no, that's
is-
some bullshit. You know that's some
Too
bullshit.
late.
That's some bullshit.
No, but I feel bad for her. She's not transgender. There was a young lady who participated in the Olympics who they deemed was too masculine.
Yes, I
To-
remember.
But was she born a female?
It doesn't
Hold
matter.
on.
They deemed
No,
her
hold
too
on.
masculine,
They-
and they
yeah.
took her out, and they've also taken away her awards, regardless of.
I don't
if
think
she
they
was-
should
she
take
was
away her
born a
damn
female.
awards.
But they say
Why?
that she is overly qualified for it because she has, to them, she's more masculine.
Her
than feminine.
Okay, but is she transgender?
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the fact that we have a young lady just because someone looked at her and said that she looks too masculine.
But my question is,
No, she
is
is
it a
she
natural
was-
woman?
Yes.
Okay, but then they need to get that shit together because
So what does that
I don't
mean,
think
get
that's
that
right.
shit together?
But hold on. But what I'm. But
Because they looking at her, she's naturally a female.
Yes.
And they're saying that, oh, well, you.
But her build is like that. She's a very strong woman.
But she still
naturally.
was born.
What does it matter?
woman.
She's stronger than
Well-
what you would deem a regular woman.
Okay, but
then-
she was still a woman, so who's the hell to say whether she's strong or maybe your ass is just fucking weak?
But then there you have Simone Biles, who
Right.
they are now considering that she's overly qualified and overly athletic to be participating. And
Now that's some bullshit. Now that right there is some
but
bullshit.
then it's also, I mean, no, I'm not going down that road.
So
But,
hold on, we got.
Oh, now you biting your tongue and shit.
Let's
See, that's
pause
that
for
bullshit.
the pause.
You
This is-
let
we
it
gonna
all
have to
hang
get-
out.
we
I
gonna
let
have
all
to-
my shit
we
hang
gonna
out.
have to
Ain't
get a
nobody gonna let it
chalkboard
hang
up
out.
and do like a whole match
picture
of this,
breakdown.
right?
Let's. Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, we good. So you were saying.
I mean, I think, in those situations, it could be argued that, for Caucasians, always black women have been seen as overly masculine for anything. So,
Okay,
in
but that's their
re-
personal fucking
but-
problem.
Bingo.
But that said, you could say that on the other end too.
But can I say
No,
something
fuck no.
about the
Hell
trend?
no.
Let me say this.
Personally, I don't give a shit because I
feel
don't
like-
play sports. I just
I
watch
feel
the
like
shit.
if a female to male transgendered individual decided they wanted to play a male sport, that would make them rise to the occasion of playing with the men. And for the male
Yeah,
to
because if
female,
you say you're a
for the
man, then you
male-
gotta
for the
fit
male
in.
to female, I believe that for those females that are in that sport, if they deem this individual as being overly qualified, that only makes you get better.
So okay, but get better to compete with who? Because if you can't compete with the girls,
would you be opposed to seeing men and women play in a sport together?
That's why I say they're gonna have to be co-ed.
No, I mean, but not even. Let's take the transgender just for right now. So if it was a co-ed basketball, would you be cool with that?
Okay, yeah, why not? Go ahead.
So like.
So you would be okay with a 6, almost 7 foot male checking
Well, you just had to put the little ones on the little one. You line that shit up. But that's what I'm saying. It becomes a disadvantage no matter how you look at it.
That you have players like Cheryl Miller and Lisa Leslie who are fucking amazing.
Yes.
And that they could have played in the NBA. And I think that they've also, this is another thing, I think that they deserve a chance to coach.
I mean, if they can hang, then I say, you know.
But I'm just saying, like, so then if you move to that, will there be a co-ed NFL team?
I mean, I feel like if the women who play in this pretend league where it's co-ed, if they know what they're getting into when they sign up for it. So if they know that this 300-pound guy is going to burl her and knock that ass down, she willing to pop back up and keep playing.
I know a few studs that could probably take that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. If they're willing to take the hit and keep it pushing, then all right. That's the risk that they take.
Because then it becomes like, okay, now you got males hitting females. Like if it's football, okay.
But it's football, they signed up.
Now, like if you got Floyd Mayweather beating up a chick.
No, but
But
you see how you just said you quickly was like, nah, that ain't good.
But you see,
but she signed up.
But now that's. Now
I'm talking literally just for co-ed. Now let's move it to transgender. Now, if you have a woman who is transitioned to being a man, she considers herself to be a man. She is a man at this point. Mm-hmm. She is trained as a man. She is living her life as a man. She is a man, and unless she had told you that she wasn't, and she decides to fight, and I'm just using Floyd Mayweather as she fights Floyd Mayweather and wins, and then comes out and says, you know, I was born a woman. But
and now you got Floyd Mayweather feeling some type of way.
That's all
I don't get
Because now you done got your ass with my chick. You know what I mean? That's how he gonna look at it. I'm just saying. That's how he gonna look at it.
No,
I get your point. Like I get it.
You know what I'm saying? It's too much. Because my thing is, if I don't subscribe to what you believe in, like where I'm at is, I feel like they forcing us to subscribe to what somebody believes in. If I don't believe in that. You know, like just like they say, okay, well, religious preference, like you have certain companies that don't, you know, like they were saying, like say they don't agree with transgenders because of the religious purpose, you know, their religious belief, running a company, this, that, and the other, and then they try to hold that against them, like, well, no, you have to deal with that. But if that's that, you know, so it's now it's like now you gotta alter your beliefs and all this other stuff to accommodate when I don't feel like you should have to do that.
So I think
because ain't nobody accommodated our asses for being black. So you know what I'm saying?
I think if you're qualified to do the job, you should be able to do the job.
I agree with that too.
And I think when it comes down to gender, it goes back to saying, well, what jobs are male jobs and what jobs are female jobs. And I feel like if you train for a job and you're qualified to do that, you should be given an opportunity
and that's
to do
fine
that.
too.
And if you are looking at someone and you're basing your rationale for not giving them whatever services, you don't want to feed them because they're transgendered, you don't want to sit them or serve them because of what they look like or what their preference is or what they were assigned but they were reassigned, then I think that does not, in my opinion, speak to that individual. It speaks to you.
And that's fine. But my thing is, in religious culture,
I don't think it's
a lot of them don't accept.
I don't think it's
a lot of them don't accept transgenders and gay and all of that. They don't accept that.
But they don't.
So they don't have, and so they don't have to. If that's their stance, I don't feel like they should have to.
Right.
Be forced to
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But as that person that's transgender, then you just find, you know, a place where that, you know what I'm saying, and you don't, because you don't want to support them anyway, because they don't support you. So why would you want to go to somebody that's like, okay, if they're religious, you know, because you got companies that have a religious base. And so if they don't agree with your lifestyle, because of their religious practices or whatever, then I don't feel like you should force them to step outside of their religion to accommodate.
But
it's not.
The flip side is now if transgendered individuals started their own and said, you know what, because you're a woman or because you're a man, we don't allow your kind here. Then
I mean, shit, they did that shit for years with black people. You know what I'm saying? We don't want your kind around here.
Hold up.
Get off around here, Jigaboo. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't want us around.
You
So what's
took
the
it
fucking
all
difference?
the way over here when we're not talking about religious beliefs. We're not talking about race. We're talking about the fact that this person was once female.
Mm-hmm.
Now he is male. And he wants to be able to compete with other males. Now,
why not?
People
because you have to consider religious and people's upbringing and all of that stuff.
Nobody is asking you nobody is asking Serena Williams who she prayed to.
Okay,
time out, hear me out. I find in my own mind, and this is me admitting, that I have a gender bias, even in the transgender community. If you're a female to male, you choose to fight a male, and you understand that person is, you know that you're getting in a ring with a cisborn male. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine, that's the chance you take. Now when it's
but then it'll become a hate crime if that straight male slapped the shit out of that transgender.
It
has.
No, it's
no. I'm just saying even on a street tip, just you on the street.
We talking about sports, organized sports. But then when it's male to female,
because you get paid to do this.
Right.
Okay, I agree with that. All right.
Now male to female, I kind of, and it's my own bias, and maybe that's something I gotta look more into. But male to female, when that male transitions to female and now she wants to compete against cisborn females, I think it depends on the sport. And that's only because, one, you wouldn't put, if I decide I want to box today or tomorrow, join UFC today or tomorrow, just me just now, I ain't really trained or nothing like that, you gonna put me in the ring with Ronda Rousey, my face gonna get melted. You understand what I'm saying? She is way more buff than I think I will ever be.
But that'll make you step your game up.
It would make me step my game up.
Next time you get in there, you learn.
Next time
you'll know better.
Next time.
Stab him.
Right.
No, but
you got to stab him.
I mean, but like I said, for me, it depends on the sport. Like if it is boxing, okay, you go weight class. That's an easy way to solve that. Boom.
Even if you go weight class, a 150-pound man and a 150-pound woman don't have the same power when they hit.
But I feel like if it's an individual sport.
Because we don't know that. You don't know. There's some 150-pound females.
Yeah, I mean, some strong bitches out here and there's some strong dudes out here.
Male and make it.
I know some chicks that'll beat a dude.
If I'm a cisborn female, and you're a male to female transgendered individual, I feel like if we're gonna get in a ring together or do some individual sport, I feel like it should be the cis-born person's decision to say, okay, we can go. It's fine. I'm not saying that you have to
But then that opens a whole other can of worms.
I don't think that should then be put on that person.
On which person?
On the cis-born person. I don't think that's a lot of responsibility that now has been put on this one person. I don't think that's fair at all.
And that's why they should stick with just male and female and call that shit a damn.
Like I said, I'm biased.
When you have a group
I'm trying to learn
that is outside of that,
that
decides, that should not be on me because you want to fight me. So now it's all on me if I'm going to fight you. And I have to take the weight of if I did fight you, I have to take the weight of if I didn't fight you. So now I'm this because I didn't fight you.
And that's why
I'm that because I did fight you.
And that's why they should have their own motherfucking league. Then you ain't got to worry about nobody arguing and fighting over whether the male or female got more strength than a regular female and all that other stuff.
I'm trying to help my own self. I
don't want to be seem like I'm being insensitive, but I'm just saying.
This is what I'm going to say for my feeling on it. I think that I'm all about equality amongst everyone. But the thing with equality is that as we strive to be more equal, we have to learn what that looks like.
Right.
I mean, when...
Because when do you draw a line?
I'm not drawing lines. I don't give a shit about any of these people right now. I'm talking very theoretical right now. Mm-hmm. Is that, you know, as we've still been striving for equality amongst race, some shit worked, some shit didn't work, some shit, we still don't know what that really looks like. Right. It changes. God knows every year, every 10 years, what we think of as equal 10 years ago is not equal now.
Right.
And so it's just one of those things that I think that what is equal in the next 10 years will look very different from what we see as equal now. This conversation probably will have no fucking merit, hopefully, in the next 10 years.
But my thing is, at what point?
But I think that that's the fact, that nobody knows the fucking point. Nobody knows what the line is.
I mean, because there's all types of shit going on. And you got people that's transracial, like I don't want to be white no more, I'm going to be black. And then they just, you know.
But I think that when you say if people are transracial and people are trans this and trans that and doing this and that, I think people have the right to do that. And I think
so you're telling me that a straight up European white woman has the right to decide that, you know what, fuck it, I want to be black.
Reparations come out, a whole bunch of
I want to be black. And so now, because they say they want to be black, now let's say, for instance, they do pay reparations. Now you paying reparations to somebody that ain't never lived a day black, and really black, a day in their fucking life.
I think when
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, at what point do you draw the line? Like it has to be some type of standard put forth, because it's like, okay, if that's the case, like I can go out here tomorrow and say I'm a tall, blonde-haired white girl, and I want to go ahead and be, you know, and I can't make myself look like a white girl. As light as I am, I still got black features.
I love the fact that you said that, because when you said that you are a blonde, tall, white girl, that doesn't mean that you have to look like a blonde, tall, white girl to believe that you are a blonde, tall, white girl.
Fuck that belief shit.
In
like
either
mind,
you
is, or you is, you is, or is you ain't.
But then that's with the basis. That's the basis of a lot of stuff. It's not about, you can look like what you want to look like. It's what you believe you are.
Yeah, so that's some bullshit, because if you can go out here and believe you black, but then you switch when the heat come, now all of a sudden you back European. Now you can choose and pick and choose when the fuck you want to be black or white. That's bullshit. That's what it is.
That you do have
that's some bullshit.
The whole
fuck out of here. If that was the damn case, we'd have been everybody would have been freaking white.
But that's the point.
Like fuck it, I'm gonna just be white and
always have this ideas where though we have to subscribe to what people define us as, and we don't.
That. Go outside and tell them you white.
I could.
Go outside and tell them you white, and see if they treat you like you white. They're not going to, because they're gonna look at your face. Because regardless of the fact, people still go by visual.
Going by visual. Okay. Transgender individuals.
You can look
at Hear me out.
Okay, because I was going to say, because some of the motherfuckers are transgendered over and they still strong as shit in the jaw.
This is the next question. So, should male to female?
Woman.
So, should people who have transitioned from male to female, who are members of a fraternity, be able to still be a member of the fraternity? As a female.
Did they join the fraternity as a male or a female?
They joined the fraternity as a male. They since transitioned to female, but they want to remain in the fraternity, and vice versa.
Well, shit. That's why you carry your ass over to the sister side.
No,
your ass. Look,
I don't get into this because
at this point.
No, but here's my thing. I don't get
it causes too much damn confusion. Is my point. It's too much damn confusion.
Out of this conversation because
I think
I don't
kids
give a fuck
confused.
about that shit.
You got little kids like, is that a boy or a girl? Like, every fucking body confused.
I
think it's confusing for people who just don't know how to break it down and say that this is what you. If a person decides that this is who they want to be, it's only respect that we respect that.
I just feel like certain shit you can't choose to be. That's like that little boy that's talking about what you want to be when you grow up. I want to be a dinosaur. The fuck out of here. You can't be no fucking
in my
dinosaur.
opinion, you're giving.
You know what I'm saying? You got to teach them kids limitations, goddammit. Look, you can't be no motherfucking dinosaur just because you want to be one. The fuck out of here.
That's what white people say about black people. That's what white people. That's a justification for all sorts of discrimination and oppression.
What?
That you can't be it because that's not what you were designed to be.
Well, who the fuck? No, dinosaur.
You just made that. You
Can
made that.
can you be a fucking dinosaur?
If I want,
if a kid grow up and say, and so if you had a child and that child said, "Mommy, when I grow up, I want to be a dinosaur," you gonna say, "Go ahead, baby."
Exactly.
And so now he walking around to my
Exactly.
You gonna agree to that bullshit? No, you gonna cut that bullshit
until
out.
they decide for themselves what they want to be.
Nah,
you trying to tell them that they can't be.
You know damn well they asses ain't no fucking dinosaur. I don't care if they believe it or they don't believe it.
But
their asses ain't no fucking dinosaur, and they can't never be a motherfucking dinosaur. I don't care how they do that shit.
You believe that you can be what you want to be. Why can't they be?
Okay, well let me see his ass be a goddamn dinosaur. See how that shit work out for him.
I mean, that's the same person who said that. No, but I'm saying that was the same. But that was the same.
You know what I'm saying? A real dinosaur? Like you can't. That's not gonna happen.
So the first person who said that I want to walk amongst the stars.
No.
You said, "Oh, you can't walk amongst the stars," and then all of a sudden, stay on your mind.
What?
Stay on it. Yeah. Oh, so what I'm saying is that the person who said, "Well, it's no such thing as being able to walk amongst the moon," then they decide they walked amongst the moon. So my thing.
You ain't. I don't give a shit. In the history of humanism,
so if a person
you ain't never seen nobody turn into no motherfucking dinosaur. I don't give a damn what you say. Just because you believe you want to be a damn dinosaur, don't make that shit so.
You believe you a whole person, but others say that you 3/5.
Who said that? Who?
You is 3/5 of a person.
Shit, I ain't no motherfucking 3/5 no motherfucking person.
That's what they say in the Constitution.
That's what the fuck they say for blacks. I'm not black.
You ain't white.
I ain't black.
What is you?
You opening up a whole nother can of worms. When you break down into what black really is and all of that other stuff, it makes a damn difference.
No, you're making a distinction because according to any racist, any KKK person, you black.
That's KKK. No. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. No. And they ain't white either.
So now you don't believe.
And they ain't white.
Okay.
So you trying to push your belief on them now?
I'm just saying, they ain't white and we ain't black. That's all the fuck I'm saying.
I don't know.
Chinese people ain't yellow and Indians ain't redskins, and I don't give a shit how you look at it. That's not what the hell you are.
I'm not from this planet, so it don't even matter.
Exactly, so you ain't fucking black.
I'm black. I'm whole black. I ain't nothing. Look, I'm black. Ain't nothing. You could call me whatever you want to, Asiatic, but I'm black.
Asiatic, see, there you go.
But whatever you want to say, but I'm black.
I know that.
Okay.
You remember when the old man in the
damn
color
dinosaur,
purple,
I bet that.
and she said, "My name ain't Sweet no more," and she said, "Mary Agnes," and he said, "Mary, who gives a good goddamn?" That's kind of where I'm at right now. Mary, who gives a good goddamn?
And you know what? And that's really how you gotta, because it
But that explains everything.
Try to make sense out of it.
Turn into a woman, and now you're a woman, and you want to play fucking gymnastics. Go flip that bitch until you're fucking crazy. I
agree with that.
I got
do
the
what
piss,
you do, but
goddammit.
don't try to force
Wow.
everybody else to do.
Now I'm going to take it with me. It's going to be water all the way to y'all. Everybody going to hit my dick, goddamn.
Wait,
what in the hell?
No, thank
Crack
you.
kills.
La 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 la.
And with that being said,
what the hell is that?
And we will be back after these messages.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Whole
niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Issues make me blast pistols. I'm trying to chill, shorty. I'll be back shortly. Gotta hit the track till I count to 40. Got a show to do it, and I ain't used to it. But I'm a stunt hard to put some juice to it. Get my shine on, cause my grind long. Got bros with me, fuck up your city. Got my mind strong, take a time bomb. Fuck a pot, I'd rather pat the kitty. I don't want the city, don't call me Diddy. Yeah, I rap my city, ready to show them something they ain't ready for. Nigga voice firm, so you can't ignore it. Talking shit like I'm fixing toilets. Shag a riff, I can see me torn. Horn cuffs, shades on, shirt off, strapped up, Molly down, blowing strong, riding around. The demonstration hold 50 rounds. I'm a fool with it. Got ratchet niggas that's cool with it. You got a cold heart till that ooh hit it. Stop fucking with me. Got my mind set. See my mind state is at a high rate. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Whatever I see, you could be strong-jawed, you can have strong shoulders, you can have all of that stuff. But my thing is that I don't have the right to deny you your happiness. And if that means me addressing you as a female is what you need to be happy, then I'm okay with that. Now, I don't have to sit back and say, you know what, I'm going to make a different room for
but
you
it still
in
ain't
my
a female.
own space.
It still ain't one.
Oh, but what I'm saying, I'm
we
wrapping
on?
it up.
We
but,
on?
Yeah, we are on.
Oh, shit. Look, Smitty, you need to tell somebody, damn it. I'm going to say some real racist shit.
Oh, I did. And that was pretty. Well, this was a good segment. It was lovely. I really missed you. Cable, we miss you wherever y'all get off your knees. Or if not, make money. So,
whichever one.
Whichever
or
one.
Both.
Make money on them knees.
Join us next week. No, join us on the 21st for our first Shoot Your Shot segment. And
will they be
transgender? Next, they could be.
Hey,
if there's a
transgendered
transgendered individual, male or female to male, that wants to shoot their shot, want to put themselves out there, you are welcome to the show. As far as next week, go support Pearly at the Baltimore Arenas. At the Arena Players. I'm sorry. Good Lord.
Oh shit, you about to. That's a big ass difference between the Arena Players and the.
Join us next week. It opens on Friday.
If the Baltimore Arena wants to be the Arena Players, then let it be the Arena Players. God damn it!
Really?
This shit is way far.
As you can see,
it's the same.
As you can see, we are live and we are ready for this whole year. So join us. We come back on the 21st for the Kocktail Social. And this is Be Exposed Radio. These are my socialites. And y'all motherfuckers is crazy.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye. See you later. Don't forget to like.
Listen to this flashback of Skyline Radio Show.
So where we at? Where we talk about the effects and what's going on in these schools? rules.
Yes.
And what people don't understand. Just real briefly, I just want to talk a little bit about what people say bullying is or is not. So bullying comes in many forms. It's a teasing, it's the cyberbullying, it's the texting, it's the phone calls, it's the posting of pictures and people's personal information to pretty much cause them harm, to have them feel insecure. It's the sex assaults that people actually put out there. There are physical assaults, and there are mental assaults and emotional assaults. And what I like to remind individuals that any aggressive behavior towards anyone that is unwanted and unwarranted, and an individual asks you to stop. Let's stop there. Stop.
And they should be respecting that.
Respecting that and respecting yourself, because when you're able to respect another person, you're able to respect yourself. And the way that you're able to show that respect is that you know that you have a gift and you know you're uniquely made and that you matter, and then you also acknowledge that the next person beside you matters as well.
Right.
You know, and we lose that sometimes. Bullying is a behavior that underestimates the lives and legacy of you. I'm sure that when they was bullying me, and I'm sure when they was bullying you, they didn't understand who you're going to become later on. I didn't know.
Right, because I'm popping. I can't. All right, let me tell you, all those people who felt like they wanted to say whatever to me, look at me now. It's like, no, y'all don't understand, but I've been through some things, okay?
And you know what? No. I applaud you and I salute you, because a lot of times we do not take the time to say, I'm okay, and I'm okay with me, and there's nothing wrong with me, and I'm amazing, and I'm blessed, and I'm strong, and I matter.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Skyline Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
He's dead.
Oh, 6 years after he passed away.
It states she reportedly had heard rumors, but nothing substantial. But then you put the rumors
while
death.
They were still married.
You sentenced the rumors to death.
While they still were married, she heard rumors.
Right. Okay. Probably all her life she's heard rumors. Like you're dating you're dating your dad, right? Y'all look just alike. I'm like, girl, somebody told me you dating your father. You know, that's what kind of people. You know he gay, right, Percy?
Why are you laughing at him? Don't laugh at him. Please don't.
Okay, let me continue with the story.
Oh,
man. Even today, it's still funny. Oh my gosh, if you haven't heard this show, it's Talk Lately, and it's only on BeExposedRadio.com every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and on YouTube. Just go to Be Exposed Radio.
Whatever happened to the times when we cared for one another? We shared the same respect. What is happening? We're trading what's important for shiny things. I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Don't lose yourself, stay on track. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken battles we've won. You're so much better than that. Sometimes the truth ain't always catchy as rap. Stop chasing cheese or you'll get stuck in a trap. Go get your crown and never